Welcome on board, beloved. Welcome on board. I hope you're doing great today. I hope you had a beautiful, lovely, wonderful week. This is Marcus from Healing with Marcus. We are here every Monday at 7 p.m. and we share both healing frequencies of our world, and we intend to be here as a support for you on your healing journey. That is the point and the main intention. Johnny Neal, nice to see you, sir. I'm glad you're here. So, as we are gathered here today on this lovely this lovely YouTube, Johnny, yes, I was on last week. As far as I know, I think I was. I can look, but as far as I know, I was on last week. Yes. um, and you can always go back and check. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can always go and check on the live video under the live video section on the YouTube channel, and you'll find if I was on or not. But I haven't missed for a bit now. So I'm grateful and glad that we get to be here and share these Monday evenings. Um, Here's a sip of my cacao. And it is interesting. All these journeys we are on, the challenges we face, oh, wonderful. There you are, Glenn. Hello from across the street. My aunt says hi too. That's wonderful, Glenn. I'm so grateful. Say hi back to her. It's lovely to share this journey with quite a few of our fellow light workers and people we have some form of an interest in a spiritual life. It is the funny or lovely or interesting thing I find is that that's right, Glenn. I was definitely on last week. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Um, so the interesting thing about our journey is that we can be anywhere, right? On this journey, we can be anywhere. Thank you, Glenn. We can be anywhere when it comes to a spiritual journey, right? We can be in the beginning phases of having a ton of issues, having no sense of where we are in our journey. We have no idea. We might only have a sense, a feeling, oh goodness, there might be more to life than what I have experienced so far. There could be something to those people who seem to be talking a lot about different spiritual ideas or philosophies. Ellie K, beautiful, dear, lovely soul sister. Love to see you on here. Thank you. So um, when we start out on the journey, it may look a little strange, right? It might be that we are seeking in all these different places. It might be that we read some spiritual books. In my case, there's been an inner calling and an inner excitement about spiritual affairs for a very long time. There was always something in me that resonated deeply with the different teachings of our world. But of course, when you are limited in your vision or search parameters, you may only scratch the surface. And then as we continue on, we go a little deeper, and then we go a little deeper. And at least, and also in my experience, is that I go deeper often when I have to go deeper. When I'm forced by circumstances, it seems like it's circumstances, but it's really often within myself. When I have repeated patterns in my life, when I have things that happen, repeated feelings, repeated patterns, repeated experiences, or situations that seem to always happen over and over. It could be, I mean, it's very common that we can see our own shortcomings when we are in relationships. often that's where we can see it more clearly, because when you try to get along with somebody else, a lot of times your own rough edges will be showing up, and or insecurities or fears of being abandoned, of losing the other person, and that can express itself in many different ways. At times we can become abusive, we can become abused, we can become all these different things when we are either in the beginning of the journey or when we are going towards it. Many people have to, there's a saying in the fellowship of AA, the 12-step groups, where they say the pain is the spiritual, or the foundation, the cornerstone for any spiritual growth. And of course, it doesn't always have to be that way, but often it is that way when we start out. When we start out, we often have to experience problems that show up in our lives as way signs, like as a street sign that shows you, uh-oh, if you continue on this path, you're going to meet your demise. And if you continue on this other path, you will meet your ego demise. And meeting our ego demise, and here's the fine balancing act where if we don't listen to the signs when they show up in our lives, our demise might very well be our physical death. Our demise might very well be just very, very heavy duty suffering. And if we end up finding that, uh-oh, there seems to be trauma in my life, uh-oh, there seems to be things that are guiding me from a place where I keep reliving, recreating certain feelings or situations in my life over and over and over. And as we start to recognize those patterns, sometimes if we're lucky, we get to see it when we're already young. But for many of us, it happens a little bit later in life as we start to realize that it can't always be the other person's fault that I'm feeling this way if we're in a relationship. Or in my case, several different relationships that looked the same at the end, where I started realizing that these 6 or 7 different partners that I had been seeing or living with or dating or whatever we want to call it, they all seemed, they had different names, different looks, different personalities, but the situations always ended up the same. The relationships always looked the same. And towards the end of that pretty long, like 7, 8 years stint, and in reality, it was pretty much a very long time, but I could see it clearly in those 7, 8 years. I saw that it can't only be their fault. That some part of this, I'm doing something because I am the common denominator. In all these situations, I am the common denominator. And when that thought, in my case, when it hit me, it freed me up to start looking inwards. It freed me up to start becoming more aware that, uh-oh, there's something else there. There's got to be more to this. There's something else going on here that I can learn from. And it was many years, actually, of sitting in stillness, sitting in meditation, sitting in but it wasn't like 12 hours a day. It was every morning and every evening. But the journey started with meditation. It started with an experience of the absolute stillness. And as I was sitting in that, slowly, there was a path that started opening up. But it took quite a long time because I had a lot of unhealed trauma left to deal with. I had a lot of unhealed karma coming into my life that I didn't see why. Until at first I was in a park meditating, shooting a video, and this woman found me and she said that she was doing Reiki. And when we ran into each other again, I ended up taking her up on the offer, and I received Reiki, and I started learning how to give Reiki. I already knew a lot about energy healing work, but I didn't know enough to actually perform it, like for real. So then, and after that, then there was I took the training to become a Reiki healer and or a Reiki practitioner. And as that got deeper, then my shaman teacher showed up, and a, 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 a statement that had happened 5, 6 years earlier when I was still back in Sweden came true. And it was a beautiful experience to be initiated into a shamanic spiritual tribe and to walk the walk of a deeper part of this journey. As we go deeper, the path opens up. And if you have in your life, if you've had either you are with the same partner, but you have similar experiences over and over, or if you are with different people, or even if you don't have a bunch of partners, maybe you are feeling the same feelings over and over. And as we keep repeating these feelings, we might start to recognize that, oh, there's something in my life, there's something inside of me that maybe could change. That maybe there's a chance for me to also reach a sense of peace, a sense of silence, a sense of stillness. And as we walk that path, as we go deeper, that path gets wider and deeper as well. And there is that beautiful saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I never believed in it until it happened for me. I never thought that would be real because it hadn't, I couldn't see it happening for me because it hadn't occurred in my physical life. So I didn't know that that actually was real for me as well. But when it took place, it really was life altering and mind blowing. And as we go deeper onto the healing journey, because at first, even the experience of having a sense of silence inside, a sense of stillness inside is tremendous. That experience is huge. Or if you, like I had a very acute sense of pain in my life when I ended up finding the stillness. I was going through a heartbreak that was very, very deep. And I felt like I physically was dying when I was about 38. And and I could feel it, and I did not know what to do to get away from the pain. And then I was watching these spiritual videos, and there was a teacher who guided the viewers into a space of stillness, and he used the tingshasas, the Tibetan bells, and how he explained it was that if you listen to the stillness before the sound appears, you allow the sound of the bells to fill your whole attention, and you listen for the sound again. So do this again. We listen. And we're going to do it one more time. And I want you to keep listening for the stillness or the sound of the bells. Let them fill your mind and just keep listening. When we begin to pay attention to the stillness that's beyond our thoughts, it's like a portal opens up, and suddenly a whole new level of consciousness becomes available to us. It's a lot like if you've been watching a TV or the phone, if you're glued to your phone 24/7, and then one day you turn it off, and you suddenly notice how still it is on the level beyond your thoughts. When I had my experience of that whole evening, everything shifted for me. My voice sank, went down a whole octave, and there was a peace in me, and the pain that I had been feeling for a few months in my gut area and in my solar plexus, it was lifted. It was just gone. And for these hours in the evening, I think it might have been a Tuesday evening back in 2010, in I think it was February, I uh, I felt peace, and I knew I'd be okay. I felt like everything would fall in place. Then, and I felt good that whole evening. I couldn't believe it. Then the next morning, when I was out there walking my dogs in the snow, suddenly the pain came back like a freight train, and it hit me so hard, so hard. And in that case, I didn't think that the pain could go away again. And I thought that that silence wasn't going to come back. So at that point, I thought, well, I'm just going to have to end it. I'm just going to have to say farewell. And my roommate at the time had a rifle, so I thought I'll go home and I'll just blow my head out. No, this is a bit heavy, but hang on, it gets lighter. And as I got into the car and I drove back, luckily I was a whole car ride back with my two dogs. My mind shifted into gear, and I didn't. There was a lot of things, a lot of reasons why I didn't want to go through with it. But I also realized, oh, I need to meditate. I need to sit. So I called a few friends who I knew was interested in meditation, and we got together and we started meditating every day. And I was able to find the stillness beyond the thoughts. And I used to either put my hand up, be able to focus intently on the tip of my finger, which would bring my mind to a stop. Or I could use the word attention. If I sat in meditation and I noticed that my thoughts were rushing, I could go attention. And after a bit, I could only say attend, and then this stop would happen. The thoughts would stop. And it was a lot like it. If you imagine that your thoughts are a freight train, I could stop where one of the carriages or the cars ended, and there was a gap in my thoughts. That gap, when that opened up, that was stillness. And as I kept practicing that, sitting with that stillness got bigger. It was easier to attain. It was easier to attain a sense of inner peace. And as that kept happening, I got more interested in all the spiritual teachings. And so much of the different teachings, the power of now with Eckhart Tolle, or the Buddhist teachings from Thich Nhat Hanh, or the Prophet by Khalil Gibran, or so many different teachings, the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. When I started looking into all these different things, they suddenly made more sense. They started to make much more sense. And over time, Kundalini Yoga came in and started practicing that. That was also a very healthy healing practice. Now, this theme today wasn't supposed to be only about my story. It was also supposed to be about you and how you can find a healing modality that works for you. That if you can keep an open mind, because a lot of these things that we go through when we start on a spiritual journey requires you to have an open mind. It requires you to let down your guard. It asks of you to surrender. And in my case, I was forced into surrender because of the pain. And some of us are forced in that way. Other people just know they have to look for a solution. And if you're in that category of people who are just like, I know there must be a better solution, I know there must be a better way, begin to look around you, see what's going on in your vicinity, or reach out to people like me. Reach out and see if, because I sit with people all the time, right? I do a lot of healing sessions with people, and we do mostly shamanic healing. We also do Reiki from here, but wherever you are, look around you and see what could become your spiritual practice. Is it energy healing? Is it Reiki healing? Is it shamanic work? Is it meditation where you go deeper on your own meditation journey? Is it yoga, Kundalini yoga? What is it that calls to you? It could be dance. It could be any expression that life takes for you. My encouragement is that for you to find some sort of spiritual path so that you end up developing your inner muscles, your strength. In a way, we call it Lightworkers. We could also call it Rainbow Warriors. And these are the people like you, people like me, who feel an inner calling. We feel that there's got to be a better way, either for the world or for ourselves. There's got to be a better way. And when there's a lot of things in the world out there that don't make sense, you call it out. And we don't have to do it screaming from the rooftops, but we have to accept and access our inner power so we don't have to be swayed by anything other than your inner connection to spirit, your inner feeling of life itself. Because that's what happens when you access that level of stillness. You are suddenly in touch with the energy and the life force of life itself. This translates into inner love. This translates into inner spiritual growth. And as your chakra system begins to align, as your heart begins to listen, and as you begin to listen to your heart, you can start to feel what's happening. And as we go deeper on the healing path, it opens up more and more. I'm sure we all have a lot of questions. You will most likely have questions, and you can feel free to ask them now or write to me or get in touch with me. There, you can do it over the website or over here on YouTube or anywhere you'd like. Main part is that you begin to look inwards. You begin to face what's inside of you. When we do, as the journey opens up, we begin to realize and learn that I can take more responsibility of my inner state. I can look into myself and sit with whatever is active inside of me. How can I digest this feeling? Can I be okay with this feeling? Can I sit with it and allow it to heal? Can I see that some of my reactions are based in my childhood trauma? And if I leave it unchecked, if I don't sit with it, if I don't attempt to heal it, it will keep running my life and it will run me to the ground. So we learn how to sit with that trauma. We learn how to recognize the different forms of pain and suffering, or even thought patterns that keep creating or recreating pain in our lives. Or we can start to learn to see that our perception of ourselves and our relationship to each other and ourselves and life might have been skewed by how we grew up, by the messaging that you heard when you were a child, by the things that came up in your life. They come as lessons, even if they are hard lessons. Some of them are very difficult. But the end result is there to teach us how to keep growing, how to keep becoming the fullest expression of yourself that you can possibly be. It's like flowers that open up and bloom. They grow inside of you. And as we grow and we open up those flowers, we grow in strength, we grow in power, and we might learn how to lead with love. Now, love doesn't always have to be weak. Love can be very powerful. But it does have to be truthful. So, my dears, let's go in and do our healing session. I'm so happy we're here. I'm so grateful you're all here. So with a few deep breaths, breathe into your system, breathe into your body. I'm going to open up sacred space for us and do our healing session. If you have an intention, if there's something that, when I was talking just now, if something came up for you, where you felt like, yeah, that's what I need to look at. Yeah, why do I end up in these relationships, these situations, these feelings? Why is that a part of my life? Let's pick that up. Be ready to release it. Be ready to fill yourself up with light where there was darkness. Be ready to look at these maybe not so pretty sides of yourself. We all have them. Nobody went through this unscathed. We all have less pretty sides of ourselves. It's when we try to hide from them that we're in trouble. It's when we reject and deny our own darkness that we are in trouble. If we can face it and see it, we bring light to the darkness, and the darkness dissipates over time. Or you become friends with it. But either way, you're aware of it. Awareness is the key. Raising our consciousness. So, if you want to hold up, you can almost envision yourself holding up your suffering or your problem, almost like a chalice, hold it up into the light. Don't forget to hold yourself up. Don't forget to hold your heart in light. Let's see if we can work on root and sacral chakra today. So as you're holding that suffering up in light, let us also work on grounding you. And the sacral chakra is the home of self-worth and self-love and the sense of you. So let's work on that too. All right. Keep breathing, keep feeling, keep being in your body. とよよよよ。太陽よよよよよあえやえやえや。太陽太陽太陽太陽太陽太陽太陽。とよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいよいや。ないや。ないや。およよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよよ Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murataye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Hi, lovely folks. Hi, lovely folks. Beloved, beloved, beloved. Welcome back into the room. I trust you had a good experience. I trust you were able to hear your soul. I trust you were able to feel into yourself. I trust you could feel all the healing that was taking place. I trust that you are on your path. And we are so grateful that you are here. We are so grateful that just you came on board here tonight. I wish you so much love, so much power, so much healing. And I hope to see you again soon. So much love. Thank you, Trent and Shine. So glad to see you here. All right, everyone. Have a beautiful, lovely evening. Namaste. And aho. And thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, LEK. Thank you, everyone who come on board and watch these videos. Subscribe and like if you feel like it. And share. It's a big, deep spiritual journey we're on. We are here together. Oh, Trenton, I'm so glad to hear that. You have very much been the teacher when I was ready to be the student. That's beautiful, Trenton. And I'm so grateful we get to share this journey. Right, everyone. If you want to know more, come on board on healingwithmarcus.com and sign up for the newsletter. Trenton Shine says, have a great week, everyone, and I wish the same. Everybody have a beautiful, lovely, strong, supported week. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.